This video highlights how City Skyline supports teaching second language and content simultaneously in a task-based language teaching learning environment because learners undertake challenges within the context of the curriculum using L2. So just to refresh, task-based language teaching involves defining specific tasks that students must complete in order to acquire both content and vocabulary. Ellis et al. Actually identify how it requires students to have input opportunities in which they must listen and read, but also output tasks in which students must read and write. So the research gives examples from the economic overview screen, and I'm going to show this in context, and for this reason I've actually switched the game mode to French so that it would mimic what students would see playing the game in a French immersion classroom. So for example, in Sciences Humaines 1231, learners must study expenses, income. They have terminology about revenue and expenses from the economics units. And this is all readily available for them via the economics screen. So here we actually get a full overview on the right hand side of our revenues and our expenditures. As we can see, we're doing pretty well. We're making more money than what we're spending. And it actually gives a breakdown based on the different areas of our city. So we can see how much our residential upkeep is costing, our commercial upkeep, our office and industrial upkeep, and as well as our city transportation. Additionally, we even have loans available to us if we're struggling to make ends meet. And then we have a budgetary screen where we can actually change our budgets, increase them or reduce them based on what it is we need. So for example, if we're only using a fraction of our garbage collection, we can actually lower this budget to make our city council spend less money on it. The same with healthcare. If our hospitals are not full, we can reduce that budget as well so that we're not spending as much on hospitals. So really what's happening here is that if we assign certain tasks of balancing the budget, we can actually have students interact with the terminology that they would encounter in Sciences Humaines 1231 and use it in its proper context and actually see what the effects are. So the output would actually be the students modifying the budget, the city budget, and altering how much they spend based on where the needs of their community is. Whereas the input would be from them reading what is actually happening in the city. And to do that, of course, they would have to look at their feedback from the citizens. Let's see what our citizens are saying here. So here's our virtual conversation with our virtual citizens. So we're not seeing anything very negative here. We do have something from Raymond Green. Qui dois-je appeler si personne ne vient emporter les morts? Who should I call if nobody comes to pick up the dead? So we know that we do have some struggles here with maintaining our cemeteries. So that is something, of course, that we would have to alter. So the input here would be what the students receive from the virtual citizens, and then their output would be the modification in the budget.